What is up? This is your girl, Bofina1, bringing you guys another YouTube video. And today I want to talk about not overworking yourself and not like burning yourself out. Basically, this is what happens to a lot of new YouTubers like myself and Twitch streamers like myself. Well, I'm not really new. I've been on it for almost close to 2 years, but just burning yourself out in terms of you just made this new channel on YouTube and Twitch, and you're streaming crazy amount of hours a week. You're putting up all these videos every day, this and that. You're putting in so much time and effort, and then you realize that, dang, I'm not seeing anybody. I'm not seeing, that many people really coming to my streams. I'm not really seeing that many people coming to my videos, liking, commenting. And then you start to wonder, you go online, you start typing in, you start thinking, okay, what can I do? Maybe I can change my title. Maybe I can up my description box. Maybe I can, work better on my thumbnails, annotations, tags, etc., etc., etc. You do all those things, and then as you keep going, you start to realize, okay, I'm still not, receiving the right recognition, and I'm putting in all this time, all this effort. I've spent all this money, all this, just everything. And then you realize that, I'm not receiving any recognition. And then you get to this feeling of, you feel like all this work I'm putting into is for nothing. It's a waste of time. I'm not really progressing on Twitch and YouTube how I should, and I went through that, and I still go through that sometimes now, but I went through that a lot, probably more so in the past, especially when I kind of like first started out, sort of, when I was really grinding hard on Twitch. I was spending, a lot of hours on Twitch, spending a lot of time, and you have to realize that YouTube and Twitch should always start out for fun. And for me, I've had to realize, okay, that this is not my job. I work elsewhere. This is not your job. And I understand that, now with the way things are on YouTube and Twitch, in order for it to become, even if it's just a hobby, in order for it to become something, you almost have to make it like it's your job. You have to almost stream every day. You have to, put out videos every day. But the thing is that those are things that you kind of gradually build yourself up to. And a lot of people, I think, beginners, they just jump into it, dive into it. They buy thousands of dollars worth of equipment. They do all this stuff, and they realize that, they don't like it. Or, just the whole nine. Like, you just can't jump into these things and spend your whole life, your whole time, because at the end of the day, YouTube and Twitch, until you really start seeing money, is really volunteer work. And another reason why it's so hard for so many people to really get known is because there's this oversaturation of, certain people streaming certain things. Like if you go on Twitch, Counter-Strike is always up there. League of Legends is always up there. Certain games are always up there. Same thing with YouTube. The bigger YouTubers are up there. And then you have people that are constantly putting out these same type of videos over and over and over and over and over again. And so if you're not really up there in terms of subscribers and views, your video just starts to kind of go down, and it just keeps going down further and further down the line. And it does. It's kind of like it makes you feel bad, makes you feel like you're not necessarily doing what you should be doing, or maybe you're not putting out right content. And honestly, I've taken this advice from a lot of other people, and just seeing videos about it. The best way to really get yourself out there is really to just promoting yourself on Twitter, promoting yourself on Facebook, telling your family, telling your friends, hey, check out this, check out that, share it, tell your friends. That's really the best way, because now it's no longer where like on YouTube, you could just put out a video and it'll go viral. I mean, you have some people that do that, but it's no longer where you could just put out a video and everybody in the world will see it. Or you could just hop on Twitch and, you'll have thousands of viewers and plenty of people donating to you and wanting to talk to you. No, there is a grind, but there's also a way of marketing. And, and then too, at the same time, I feel like as well as that, us smaller streamers, we have to help one another. You can't just be selfish and, not try to help other people. That's how you grow. You tell your smaller YouTuber friends, hey, check out this person. They tell their smaller YouTuber friends, check out this person. And you guys kind of all end up growing together. It's the same thing with Twitch. You tell people, smaller YouTubers, I feel like, have to help one another. And that's the problem, I think, with the gaming community as a whole. Everybody's in it for themselves. Nobody wants to help nobody anymore. Nobody wants to, extend the hand and be like, hey, let me do a shout out series. A lot of the shout out series, to be honest with you, not all, and I repeat, not all, but a lot of them really help out the person who's doing the shout out more so than those being shouted out. It's really more so for, okay, if I do this shout out series, more people will subscribe to my channel, more people will come to my video. You know what I mean? It's that type of mentality with a lot of YouTubers. It's not so much of, oh, I'm trying to help out smaller YouTubers, smaller streamers, that type of thing. And I don't know, it's just turned into this thing of everybody for themselves, every man for themselves, and we are a community, and no other community is like that, I feel like, but the gaming. A lot of people do collaborations in the other communities with people that have smaller subscriber count, smaller numbers. But in the gaming community, it's kind of like, well, okay, if you don't have this many subscribers, I don't care. I'm not going to help you. It's a greed thing, and it's just like, and then it causes people, I think, to give up, because you feel like, you have some people, to be honest with you, on YouTube and Twitch that have been on for years, and I mean for years, and they have not received much recognition, nor maybe will they ever receive any type of recognition. And that stuff kind of becomes a little degrading. It builds on your self-esteem. I mean, some of you that are maybe listening to this or viewing this may be thinking, what do you mean? You're doing it for fun, but most people that do stuff like YouTube and Twitch that are trying to, you're doing it for fun, but you're also hoping potentially to maybe turn it into something, and not necessarily for money, but just turn it into something bigger than just, you do it every now and then. Like me, I want to have my channel be various things: gameplay, vlogging, commentary, reviews. I mean, just the whole nine. I don't want it to just be a strictly gaming channel. I mean, that's what it's under, but I also want to have more than just that. So, I mean, that's kind of like my rant on why I kind of feel like, a lot of YouTubers burn themselves out and they kind of stop, and just the state of the gaming community as a whole, and it needs to change. And obviously, I try to help other people. I try to communicate with other YouTubers and streamers, but other people have got to help out too. Don't turn your nose on a smaller YouTuber. You never know. Just because they're a smaller YouTuber doesn't mean that their content's not good or they don't talk about good topics. Stop watching sometimes some of the bigger YouTubers and check out some of the smaller YouTubers. But yeah, guys, if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel, as well as don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Bofina1, that's Bofina1, and on Twitch at twitch.tv/Bofina1, and on Facebook at Bofina1. And I will start trying to use like annotations in my videos, so they're more, I guess, user friendly. So hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later. Peace, Fan Army.